Ryan.
Hey Lloyd, how are you doing today?
Okay, how are you?
I'm doing well. Sorry I missed you last week. Guess you know.
Oh, not to worry, not to worry. Thanks for your interest in us.
You know, I'm a Jersey kid, you know, through and through, and I grew up on, you know, Toxic Avenger and Class of Nuke High and all that stuff. So for me, you know, I'm not just a journalist. I'm a huge fan. So
oh, that's great.
It's an absolute pleasure.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Again, I'm just doing a thing on Tromadance.
Cool.
Specifically just, you know, 3 films, you know, 2 of the shorts and on Taint. And, you know, I just wanted to get some, you know, sit down with you and get some quick information, you know,
sure.
from the source. When did you start Tromadance?
1999, I think, was the first year.
And what brought that on?
I had gone to Sundance with Trey Parker and Matt Stone when we were presenting Cannibal the Musical. And Trey Parker and Matt Stone this was before South Park, obviously.
Right.
And they had submitted Cannibal the Musical to the Sundance Festival, and they paid the submission fee, and which was not insignificant, and they never even got a fuck you letter back. So they went to Sundance and rented a venue and had a one-movie film festival, the Cannibal the Musical Film Festival. And when we went there, we were all appalled at how unpleasant Sundance was, and how elitist it was, and how it seemed to be just was, rather than being ground zero for independent art, it was basically a festival where the movies that the major conglomerates didn't want to play got played. The movies that were considered insignificant by the vassals of the majors, Fox Searchlight and Sony and Miramax. Those were the movies that seemed to be playing in Sundance, and the Sundance staff and people were very unpleasant. It was a very horrible place for independent cinema, in our opinion.
Right.
So we decided to start a festival where there's no entry fee, where you could see the movies for free, and no elitist VIP, whatever, you know, no VIP treatment. Everybody's equal.
Yeah.
And so we 1999, we had 3 venues in Park City, Utah, at the same time, and in the same place as Sundance. And we had a place on Main Street. We had a movie theater in Salt Lake City, and we also had the Salt Lake City Library. And we were able to put on a all-free festival, and it was quite successful. And I think after the first 2 or 3 years, the media started to give Tromadance quite a bit of attention, and Tromadance became known as the conscience of the Sundance Film Festival. And then around 10 years after that, we decided we outgrew Park City, Utah, and we left and went to Asbury Park, where we have a very nice venue, and it's a much better place for us to put on Tromadance Film Festival. We had a lot of problems when we were putting the Tromadance Film Festival in the heart of the Sundance Festival. I think the second year, 2 of our volunteers got arrested for handing out leaflets.
Huh.
1 year, Toxie's mop was confiscated because it was considered a weapon, and we had another volunteer who played the accordion in the street, and that was considered either, I don't know if that was a weapon, I don't know what, but they threatened to confiscate his accordion. about a half a block away was a very loud, crappy band which was playing, and apparently, but they were a Sundance band. So it really was not a, Sundance did not really serve the purpose for which it was intended.
Right.
Things like that happened, and so we stayed there for 10 years, and then we outgrew Sundance, but also because of all the publicity that Tromadance got, and because I think there was one year where Tromadance was the opening day of Sundance. Tromadance was on the front page of the Salt Lake City Tribune's entertainment section, and I was pretty out there, I didn't pull any punches with my feelings about Sundance, and I don't think I was alone. And I think the Sundance, I would assume that the Sundance management had to have seen that. And there was a fair amount of publicity along the way. And I think by the time we left and went to Asbury Park, I think Sundance had actually improved. They were certainly nicer. The Sundance staff, I think, must have gone through some sensitivity courses. They were much, much nicer to everybody, and especially young independent filmmakers. And they also seemed to be showing more genuinely independent movies.
Yeah.
Even though they were still showing movies that they claim were independent, $12 million movies like Juno. Even though they were still catering to Fox Searchlight and Sony Classics, they did seem to have in the mix, they seemed to be making more of an attempt to show movies that were genuinely independent.
Yeah.
So we thought that would be a good time to expand into Asbury Park. And also, for the first half of our history, I think a lot of the motivation of Tromadance was sort of a poke in the eye to Sundance. And now that we're totally on our own, separate, Tromadance is a festival that's taken quite seriously, and the motivation is purely to put on a good film festival that is where you don't have to pay to enter your film, where you can see the movies for nothing, and where there's no VIP policy. And for the past 2 years, it's been really a pleasure to present Tromadance in Asbury Park, New Jersey, home of the Toxic Avenger.
What'd you think of this year's Tromadance?
I thought the films were great. I didn't get to see all of them. I'm not on the selection committee, so I don't get to determine what goes into the festival.
You get the best job. You get to sit back and relax. And
yeah, I'm just like a film fan. I get to go and see the movies, just have a good time, and it was terrific. I thought I had seen All About Evil. I had seen that, and in fact, I had recommended it to the Tromadance selection people. And the Taint, of course, I saw for the first time at Tromadance. That was quite an experience. Brilliant film. And there were some great foreign films and short films, and it was really quite an amazing event, I thought.
Yeah, I had missed the Taint, and everyone, by the time I got there the next day on the Saturday, everyone was talking about that film.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I had a hint it was going to be big because my Twitter, a lot of people on the Twitter before Tromadance began, the week before Tromadance, there were a number of my followers on Twitter who were looking forward to seeing the Taint. So I had a feeling that there must be some sort of buzz about it.
Yeah. When I showed up, there was no DVDs left. I had to, get in contact with the filmmakers to see it. So, yeah. I guess that was a good choice for the film festival. Did you get a chance to see either Pink Sock or Brutal Relax?
Yes, Pink Sock, Pink Sock.
Big Sock is about the kid who can't go to the bathroom, and he has some problems getting it up with a beautiful young...
Oh, yeah, Josh Schneider's movie. Yes, yes. That was great. And I think he came from pretty far away, actually.
Boston.
We had people who came from Montreal and from Florida and from Virginia and from, I think, Europe. There were people who came from very, very far away.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pixar was very good. What else did you see?
The Brutal Relax.
Oh, that's the one about the guy who's going to take a vacation or something.
Yeah.
That was Spanish. Yeah, that was great. That was a Spanish film, wasn't it?
It was.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what was interesting. We had a pretty good block of quite a number of foreign movies that were very good. Not to mention Bill Plimpton's presentation, which was packed. The theater was full the whole time, too,
yeah.
Which is from the beginning of the morning until the end of the day, it was full. And Plimpton was very good with his presentation. I thought I had seen The Cow Who Wanted to Be a Hamburger. I had seen that before. And I think it's a great, very profound and yet very amusing and touching. And then the work that he's doing for the Windsor McKay movie, which he pointed out, he suggested that the folks who did Up might have possibly seen The Flying House. Is that the name of it?
Yes.
The Flying House? Yeah. I think that was, I think that's the title of Windsor McKay's movie that Bill presented, which was I guess had never been seen before because it's a work in progress, which was quite interesting. You could see that some of it was restored and some of it wasn't, and I guess there was he put in some voices of Patricia Clarkson, I guess. I can't remember who the guy was, but he was another Matthew Modine, I think. But it was just interesting to get a little sense of behind the scenes.
What's next for Troma? Poultrygeist was really the last, big kind of movie that you had.
We have two productions. One is finished editing. It's just touching up the sound mix and color correcting, directed by Travis Campbell, who has worked here for a couple of years, 2 or 3 years. And it's called Mr. Bricks, Bricks, and it's a heavy metal murder musical, like Poultrygeist. They're singing in it, but it's very serious. It's not a comedy. It's very dark, and it is basically the theme is that love kills you. It's terrific. And Lemmy is, I think, doing some. We're just waiting for Lemmy. I think he's going to do some music for it, and that's just about finished. And then Father's Day is being edited.
Oh, right.
Mother's Day is coming out as Mother's Day has been remade rather, by Brent Ratner's company, and well, I think you know that. And
yes.
then I met these young boys up on the set of Mother's Day when my brother Charles, who wrote and directed Mother's Day, it's his movie. We went up there to play a cameo in the remake of Mother's Day, and then there were these young, very avid Troma fans who convinced me that they had an interesting script. And indeed they did, called Father's Day. And that is being edited now.
Oh.
And it looks quite unique. I think it'll be a big surprise because everybody thinks it's just going to be an answer to Mother's Day, but it's going to surprise people, I think. I think it is going to be a major Troma movie.
What about Toxic Avenger?
I don't think anyone's going to expect what it is when they see it.
Yeah. What about Toxic Avenger 5, Lloyd?
I've gone through 4 writers so far. I haven't yet gotten to the point where I feel that there's a proper script. You know, we don't make any money, so there's no purpose in filming a theatrical movie without really believing in the script. Father's Day and Mr. Bricks I didn't direct, and which is probably why they're so good. Those films are terrific. With Toxie Part 5, since I'm directing, I'm on the 4th writer now, and I think we have a beginning, middle, and end, but I don't know when we'll film. But it can, as all the Toxie movies are, Toxie gets older in each movie, and this particular one is going to center on Toxie's twins that were born. So it'll probably it's featuring more. It'll be about the twins and Toxie, of course, is older. He and his wife Sarah are now well into middle age.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be extremely interesting. It'll be more of a character-driven movie than the other Toxies. But we're still figuring it out, and there's no purpose in my shooting a script that I don't really believe in.
Right.
It ain't about the money, and the reason we have the fans that we have is that the movies that we've made are movies we're 100% enthusiastic about. So we're getting there with Toxic 5. Now, meanwhile, there's a remake of the Toxic Avenger being Akiva Goldsman, who got an Oscar for The Dangerous Mind.
Yeah.
Ron Howard's movie. He has hired Steven Pink, who did Hot Tub Time Machine and High Fidelity and Grosse Point Blank. Steve Pink is writing and directing the $100 million remake of the Toxic Avenger. I think they call it a reboot, but Michael Hers and I are we're just executive producers. So I think it should be good. Steven Pink, in my opinion, is the excellent choice to make the remake. I thought Hot Tub Time Machine was great.
It was a lot of fun.
So, yeah, I'm looking forward. And High Fidelity was great, and so was Grosse Point Blank. So I'm looking forward to the remake. I think it'll be a good remake, and it'll perhaps introduce a new generation of fan boys and fan gynos to nearly whatever it is, 40 years of Troma filmmaking.
Yeah. Well, that's all I got.
The Troma, by the way, Toxic Avenger the musical. Did you ever see that?
Have I ever seen?
It's actually called the Toxic Avenger musical.
Yeah, I tried to get in when it was in New Brunswick. I didn't get to see it. It was too sold out.
It played in New York for about a year, and it won the best off-Broadway musical and won a bunch of awards. It's going to come to Broadway, and they've started to hire the special effects people, and so in 2012 it's coming to Broadway.
You just made my day.
Well, I'm happy that you are happy. I thought it was a very good show, and obviously when they bring it to Broadway, it'll be quite a bit more ambitious.
Yeah, I didn't get to see it. Like in New Brunswick, it was just sold out all the time, and I never got up to New York to see it.
I liked it better in New Brunswick. As good as it was in New York, New Brunswick, the house in New Brunswick, I think, was more fitting. Oh, hold on one second.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, it's fine.
So, one other thing. Sell your own damn movie.
Oh, that's in your book, right?
Spent over a year on it. It comes out June. Elsevier Focal Press, who, by the way, were one of the sponsors of Tromadance Film Festival. Because it's all free, we need sponsors. So, Sell Your Own Damn Movie, my 6th book, comes out June 1st, and it's, I think, the most interesting. It's going to talk quite a bit about giving away movies and giving away art, that sharing art is not a bad thing. That sharing art is a way to actually, is a way to make money.
Yeah.
And that file sharing shouldn't be called piracy.
I can't wait.
I think it's going to be very controversial. I think the sell your own damn movie should be very, very controversial. But also, half the book is my thoughts and Troma's strategy of selling movies for 40 years. But the other half of the book, I interview the people who distributed Twilight and Stan Lee. I talked to him. Stan Lee wrote the introduction. I'm sorry, Stan Lee wrote the introduction to Sell Your Own Damn Movie. But I've got mainstream. What are the people who distribute mainstream movies? What are they? What is the studio? What is a big studio? How do you get your movie sold to a major studio? I've interviewed people from the major studios, and then I've interviewed people up and down the line, like Ted Hope, who produced Flying Tiger and Crouching Tiger, and
Hidden Dragon.
I interviewed him, and he talks about how he as a producer sells his own damn movies, and talked about James Gunn, who talks about how as a director he helps the distributor using social networking and stuff like that. And then I go all the way down to the no budget movie and people who are distributing at conventions and on the internet, what have you. But so half of it is the Troma system and half of it is different, from the no budget distribution strategy to the $100 million distribution strategy, and how to get picked up by a major, how to find an agent, how to sell how to sell movies to foreign lands, all that kind of stuff. That should be pretty good. I think it's the most interesting, useful, and definitely controversial of all my books. I'm kind of excited about it.
Yeah, I can't wait to read it. I really can't.
Well, thank you. Thanks a lot.
Hopefully, maybe once it's out and once I've read it, we can get back together. Maybe talk more about that.